Alright, what's going on, guys? This is Anubis Nova, and you guys gave me 40 likes on my last video, and I said if I got 30 likes, I would do a tutorial on how I do my thumbnails, so I'm going to do that now. So let's get right into it. So I'm going to be showing you two methods that I do my thumbnails. One of them is going to be using 3D text, and then another one is going to be using 2D text. The one with the 2D text, believe it or not, is a little bit more... It's not more complicated, it just takes a little more than the 3D text because I don't know, but the 2D text one I didn't make up myself. I watched that on YouTube, but I'm gonna share it with you guys anyway because I'm starting to use that style now. And the 3D text, I made that up pretty much myself. I didn't look up any tutorials or anything, and I think that still looks sick, but I prefer the 2D text now because it looks kind of like more clean, I guess. So for the 2D text, what you're going to do is make a new composition by 1280 width by 720 height. And you're going to make sure you have RGB color on, and then background is going to be white. You're going to click OK once you're done with that. Now you're going to unlock this layer. So now you have a white background, but you want to make it a picture so it looks more interesting. So you're going to go onto Google, and whatever you're making the thumbnail of, you can just easily go to your video and like print screen it or Giazzo it and save that picture if you want to. But I'm gonna look up Sideshow because my thumbnail is going to be about the cinematics that I am about to post, which is gonna be on the Sideshow, Urban, and all the new DLC maps on Advanced Warfare. Now, sorry if I sound kind of tired. That's because I kind of just woke up. But I still wanted to do this tutorial because, yeah, again, I got 40 likes on that video, which is absolutely crazy for me. And 0 dislikes, so that's just amazing. Thank you guys for that. But this is taking forever to load for some reason. There we go. So you don't have to save the image. I'm just going to copy mine and I'm going to paste it. So, yeah. Now you're going to scale it to your preference. Oh my god. And if you want to scale it like this, so it scales into the center and it scales like with the same ratio, you're gonna click on this and then you're gonna hold Shift and Alt at the same time. So that's kind of a helpful thing that you might want to know. So I want my image to be like in the my right corner because I'm gonna have my text like on the left side. Anyway, some nice things I like to do with my text is I like to duplicate, not my text, my background. I like to duplicate it and then I'm gonna add a blur to it. So just something like this probably. Make it around 8 pixels. And then now you're gonna get a eraser tool, which is gonna be around 300. Depending, well, if you set your composition size to 1280p, I mean 720p, what am I saying? Then something around 300 and the strength to 0. And now you're just gonna blur out the parts that you don't want blurred. So for me, that's gonna be that. And now you're gonna merge these two. So how you select both is you click on one, hold Shift, and then click the other one. And now you're just gonna merge them. And next thing I sometimes like to do, I'm gonna do it now so you guys can use it if you want to. You're gonna click duplicate it, and then once you've merged it, you're gonna duplicate it, go to filter gallery, and then the glowing edges, and just make that look good. I don't know if you guys want to copy these settings, go ahead, but you're gonna click that, then you're gonna go to screen for the thing blending mode, and you're gonna set the opacity down to maybe like 50%, and now you're gonna merge these two. So that's pretty much it for the background. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna make a new layer by clicking this icon down below next to the trash bin thing, and then you're gonna select the color, select the brush, make sure your brush is big enough, and let's say I want my thumbnail to be like a blue color. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna paint in, and I should have gotten a bigger brush, but it's fine. And you're gonna, once you've painted the whole area in, you're gonna go down here, make sure you have this selected, you're gonna go down here and change it to hue. So now that kind of colors the image, if that makes sense. Now this will not work if you set this to grayscale, so just leave the colors on this. But yeah, so this is what it's gonna look like right now. Then what you're gonna do is make a new layer above this. So I'm just gonna call this hue. Make a new layer above hue, and then you're gonna get your gradient tool, and you're gonna get this second one right here. So whatever color you have selected as your foreground color is gonna be the color on here. Just make sure you select this and not this. So yeah, and then you're gonna click on the bottom, hold shift, and drag it up to maybe the middle, something like the middle. And now you have like a nice little gradient. You can make this more opaque, whatever. Maybe like 90%. I don't know. I like mine kind of visible, so I'm gonna leave it at 90%. And then you're gonna make a new layer. You're gonna click this again, and then you're gonna click the very last one. You don't have to change anything on that. And you're gonna drag one from the top to about the middle. Now from the side to about something like that. Just kind of play with this. And now you have like a nice little gradient effect. And now this looks really cool. You can use this, whatever we just did, you can use this on a background image, and I think that would look pretty cool. But now I'm gonna teach you guys how to, like, I'm teaching you guys how to make thumbnails, is what I'm saying. Sorry about that. So you're gonna make actually you're not gonna make a new layer. You're gonna do your text now. What side should I use? I'm just gonna use 300 for the first part of the text. Yeah, that's a little bit too big, so like 250. Whoops, 250. Yeah, that still looks big. Hold on, let me use a different font for this. Yeah, that looks nice. And you're gonna set the color to white. I like to set mine to a little bit like a grayish white, if that makes sense. And then you're gonna just position that. That's not what your text will look like in the end. It's just, we're just getting the text down. So next font, I'm gonna use this, and then I'm gonna type cinematics. Whoops. And then I'm gonna make it smaller to like 75 maybe, no, 100. And then I'm gonna change the font to this one. There we go. I mean, that looks alright. Yeah, I'm just gonna make this a little bigger. This part you're gonna have to, you know, play around with it, make sure it looks good, and like maybe even rotate it depending on the font you have. So now you're gonna select both, and you're gonna rasterize it, and then you're gonna merge the two text layers. And now you can add a little bit of perspective to your image, so you can just mess with this a little bit. Now I'm just holding Alt and clicking this, so it looks like it kind of bends. You can do this either way. So I'm gonna make mine look a little bit like as if the clown was saying this, if that makes sense. To be honest, I think that looks pretty good. I might have like bent it a little too much, but I think it's fine. Whoops. I'm just gonna call this text so it's easier. There we go. Now it looks pretty good already, but there's really nothing special about the text. So you're gonna double click on this, on the text layer, and you're gonna add a gradient overlay, and you're gonna change this black. You're gonna change it to something like that. You could even change it to like a blue. That's on you. That doesn't look too bad, but I'm just gonna stick with like a grayish color, so it gives that kind of like metal theme. And now depending on how you tilted your text, you can mess with the angle of the gradient, but I'm just gonna keep mine something close to 90. And then you can add a stroke to this, so it's kind of more readable, I guess, and then lower the opacity. That's what I like to do. So it's more readable, but it still looks good. And you can add an outer glow. Make sure when you go to outer glow, make sure the blend mode is set to normal. And then you can click on this color and make it either black. I mean, black looks fine, but I recommend, like, instead of adding black, I mean, it looks fine using black. Actually, it looks pretty good. So you can decide if you want black, but sometimes you could even like make it the thumbnail color and make it like really high, like that, which also looks very good. So if we were to do that, I don't know, that looks pretty good too. So now it's pretty readable, I guess. Or you could just go to your styles over here, you know, mess with the styles. Or if you have a custom styles pack, you could use that. But I kind of like making my own styles. I don't know why, it's just personal preference, I guess. But I'm gonna make mine black, to be honest. And make the size smaller. There we go. I think that looks good. Right? Yeah, I think that looks fine. So your thumbnail is pretty much almost done. What you can do is you can look up dirty glass texture. That's the texture that I use. I actually never save textures, so I just looked them up for some reason. But it's this one right here, same as the first one that comes up, but this is like a full HD one, which is probably not a good idea because my internet's really slow right now and it can't load a picture. But yeah, this is the one that I use. You don't have to use the same one, but I think it looks great. So you're just gonna copy the image, you're gonna put it above everything, and you're gonna paste this. And you're gonna click Control T, and then you're gonna hold Shift and Alt, and click the top right, and just scale it up. Or you can just hold Alt and put it into the corners. Now for the blending mode, I'm pretty sure you're gonna, I mean, you can put whatever, but I like to put this one right here, darker color. So that looks pretty good. It even adds, like, you can see that the text has some grunge from the texture. And then one thing I forgot to show you guys is you're gonna make a new layer above this black gradient right here. You can call it glows. I mean, I'm just gonna rename it so it's easier. There we go. Excuse me. So you're gonna click on glows, go to your brush texture, and make it pretty big. Oh, not that big. Make it like 400, almost 500, and then you're gonna go to your left corner, put that there. Go to your right kind of side of the image, put that there, and go to like the middle, and you're gonna go to filter, blur, and Gaussian blur. And now you're gonna make this less visible by changing the blur. And hold on, I'm not sure if it will look better above the text and above the gradient, or not the gradient, the texture. So the texture, you can, hold on, let me rename it. Oops, god dang, I can't type. Texture, you can put it above this if you would like. It still looks good. And then glows above the texture, and I think that looks good. So just make sure, like, you can mess with this, but I like having my glows and my texture under this because, I don't know, it just makes it look nice. And you can even like lower the opacity of the texture. So I'm gonna put mine to maybe 75, 70, yeah, whatever, that's good enough. But, oops, sorry about that. But anyway, I think this looks nice for a thumbnail. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to show you guys is make sure you're on the top layer. So the text layer should be the top layer, unless you did something wrong or you just did it your way, which is completely fine. Just make sure you click the top layer, and then you're gonna click this little black and white circle thing, and this is your adjustment layers, which make the whole image, which adjust the whole image pretty much. So go to your curves, that's what I like to do first of all, and then I like to lower the first part a little bit, and then make this part a little higher. So that just adds like a little more contrast. I'll show you guys. If you go back to your layers, this thing keeps doing that. So as you can see, without, it looks kind of like ashy, I guess, like, I don't know. But if you turn it on, you can see that it looks more colorful and vibrant. You can even lower the opacity of the adjustment layer. And I don't know what else should we add. Maybe some exposure. Maybe. I don't know. You can mess with this. Like that. But yeah, that looks pretty good, I would say. So this is your final product. If you want to zoom out to see what it would look like on the actual video or on YouTube, put it up to like maybe that size, and I think it looks pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I think this thumbnail turned out pretty good. So you can just save that, and now I'm gonna show you guys how to do the 3D thumbnails. So what's going on, guys? I'm back, and now I'm gonna show you how to do the 3D thumbnails that I made up myself. I don't know if these will look as good to you as the other one, but hopefully. So I'm just gonna leave this in the description below, and you can see this is from my other thumbnail that I did on my second to last video. I don't know. I mean second to newest video. But anyway, so I'm gonna leave this Lightroom down in the description. If you guys want to download it, you can. But anyway, the font I like to use for this is right here. This is the name. I'm gonna probably put it up on the screen because I can't read that. But anyway, yeah, I'm just gonna make a thumbnail for whatever is here already to make it simpler. So I'm gonna rename this for you guys. So this is gonna be your main text, and if you want to do more than just 2 pieces of text, you can just copy and paste it and just change the size. Basically, you should be able to do this if you want to know how to make thumbnails, because it's simple Cinema 4D stuff. But I'm going to set this to 1440. I'm going to scale it up. Oh, my computer's being slow. 500? No, that's way too big. Okay, 350. Yeah, that looks fine. So yeah, that looks pretty good. And just in case you didn't have this target thing right here, you can just remove. Actually, no, I'm just gonna put that I'm not gonna put that in Lightroom. So what you're gonna do to make that kind of make it look like it's not in the right place, the letters, you're gonna click the first text, and depending on how many texts you have, just click the last text and you'll be fine. And that selects all your text, or you could just do that. But I don't know, I like doing this. So go to your MoGraph with your text selected, go to Effector and use Target. And now just lower the strength to something readable. I think 10 looks good, personally. But yeah, you're just gonna click on this so it goes away from your target effector, and then go to your main text, and this color should be down here. So just use this glossy color, put that on your text, and if you want to change the color, all you have to do is clear that and change the color to whatever you would like. So let's say, what color do you guys want to do? Let's do red. I like red. There you go. Now you can see the color has updated to red. And just because I'm nice, I'm going to show you guys how to save this too. Again, you should be able to know how to do this, but all you have to do is click this little gear icon right here next to your, yeah, you can see my cursor hopefully. And you're gonna, only thing you have to change is you're gonna go to save and click these 3 dots, and you're gonna save it as whatever you want, wherever you want, but I'm gonna save mine as 1440. So just click save, click PNG. Well, that should be there already. And make sure alpha channel is ticked. I can't emphasize that enough because it saves a lot of work. But yeah, that should be all the settings you need to configure. You just click the middle button right here. So now this is rendering, but I'll be back when the Photoshop part is, I'll be back when this is done. Okay guys, I am back. This is finally complete. Rendering didn't take that long, but anyway, you're gonna go over to Photoshop now, and you're gonna download this preset. I made this. I am 100% sure that I made this, so you can use it. I don't care if you guys use it. You can if you want to. But anyway, so what it basically contains is lighting from the bottom, and it contains text lighting, which is gonna be for your red text that we use here, so it's gonna illuminate the red text. Wow, why am I pointing with my finger? It's not like you guys can see it. Anyway, so I'm gonna hide that, just hide these layers as I'm speaking. And then this is gonna be your text, which really there's not much to this thumbnail, it's just 4 layers. And you can hide that, and this is your background, which you could just snap from your clip or from your video or whatever you want. It works with anything, to be honest, so I'm gonna hide that too. So basically what you have here just hide all the layers. Again, you can download this from the description. So now I'm going to go over to my to the clip that I hit, and I'm gonna be using this for it. I think this is it. Damn, sorry about yawning. If this loads up. There we go, and you're gonna find the section that you want for the thumbnail. That's way too far. Okay. I don't know if this is loud for you guys. I don't know if you can hear it, but hopefully not. And I think I'm gonna use this. So you're gonna double click this thing so it's full screen. Put your cursor off of it. Actually, no. I'm just gonna play it, and I have a print screen button on my keyboard, but if you don't have that, you can easily just Giazzo it. I also use Giazzo, but you know, it's easier to just press one button. So once you do that, you're gonna make sure you have this selected. So like once you paste it, it goes above it, and then you're gonna rescale this. Whoops, you're gonna rescale it so it's like, so the size is good. Now this is not the best HD picture to use for this, but it's fine because as you can see, we're gonna be blurring the image anyway. But yeah. So first thing you want to do is you want to go to adjustments, image adjustments, and desaturate. So that should make the image black and white. Now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go image and adjustments, whoops, and curves, and you're gonna again drag the first one low and the second one high, so it kind of makes it like look better, I guess. And hold on, let me just turn off my Cinema 4D. And yes, I'm gonna save this so you guys can download it. But anyway, so once you have this, you're gonna copy this layer style. You don't even have to make it visible. You're just gonna right click, copy layer style, and you're gonna paste it here. So now as you can see, it adds that color that you were looking for, or that color that we had here. Now you can mess with the settings because obviously two different images won't look the same. As you can see, the top here looks gray, but it looks dark here because it was just a dark picture. But anyway, let's say you want to change the color. You're gonna double click on that layer, you're gonna go to gradient overlay, and you're gonna click this right here, this image, whoops, and then you're gonna click the orange, and you're gonna change it to whatever your thumbnail is. So I made my text red, so I'm gonna make this the same color, and I'm gonna make this I can't speak, I'm sorry. I'm gonna try to make this look like the other image, so maybe like a gray. All you have to do is make it something from gray to black, so it looks kind of like this. See how the top is gray? So what we did was just change this bottom color and change this, rather than having black, to like a gray. Again, this depends on how dark your image is. But anyway, you're gonna click on this, you're gonna go to filter, and what I like to do, you can leave this like this, but as you can see, if we go over here, it looks kind of like it's pinched, and also you have kind of like a blur on like the black parts, so it looks like as if someone drew the image. And you might not notice, but if you look on the mini map, it like kind of everything is like sucked into the center, like this part. So to do this, to do these two steps, I'm sorry, you're gonna go to distort, and you're gonna go to pinch. This is what causes that pinch effect, and you're just gonna zoom out to check what looks good. Hold on. Okay, yeah. And I'm gonna put mine to 22%. That looks fine. And if it like adds some black parts, just scale the picture up. But yeah, I think this looks kind of good. So you're gonna go to filter, blur, and smart blur for the blur thing that I was showing you. And radius, set that to about 5. And threshold, I don't know. Set it to about 20, and that should look fine. And there you go. You can see like how it's kind of blurred. I think that looks pretty good. So that's your background. Now you're gonna go to your text. Make sure you click the text, so whatever your import is above it. And I'm just gonna import my text that we did in Cinema 4D and make it a little bit smaller. That's one thing that I found out about my thumbnails in the recent past, is that I made the text way too big, and that does not look good. So make sure you have at least some space left over, you know. So now first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go to edit image adjustments, not edit, just image adjustments. And again, you're gonna do this part, but don't do it too much. Just drag this a little lower than the straight line and this a little higher. And then all you have to do for this is copy layer style of the sick text. You're gonna paste it onto your text like that. Now this does not look the best, I'm sorry. So one thing you could do if it doesn't look good, you can duplicate this layer. Now go to the bottom one. It doesn't matter which is your bottom one, whether it's the new one or the old one. Just get rid of your outer glow. Get rid of the, okay, you can keep the gradient overlay and make a new layer above the bottom one. And you're gonna click the new layer that you made, hold shift and click the bottom thing, the bottom text, and you're gonna merge that. Now what you're gonna do is click Control T on your keyboard, and you're gonna hold shift and alt. Okay, I'm sorry, this is kind of a hard part for you guys probably. And you're gonna scale this up so it's a little bigger than the text. Now what you can do is either add a radial blur, I think that's how you call it, and then a Gaussian blur is what I'm gonna go with. And you can make this like either really big, which that looks pretty good, or you could just make it like this and make it, you definitely want to make it less opaque like that. And you can even duplicate this layer and do both. So like go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and now do that. And that I think looks pretty cool. But yeah, it's not nowhere near done. Well, it is close to done, but it's gonna look much better after these two final steps. Well, I just moved it, there we go. So now you have these two layers left, and those are your lighting layers. So you're gonna click this bottom one, you're gonna make it like opaque or visible, sorry, and then you're gonna double click it and go to color overlay and just make it red. Mine's already red because that's the default color. So now you can see it looks like your text is glowing, and then you're gonna click this one and make that red also. So color overlay and red. And that's pretty much it for your thumbnail. I'm not even joking. I mean, it's not that complicated. Personally, I think this one takes more time to do, but I don't know, I just kind of did this my own way, so maybe that's why it doesn't take a long time for me. But anyway, this is your 2 thumbnails, this is your 3D thumbnail, and this is your 2D thumbnail. So you can use any of these that you would like. I will not be mad if you steal my style. Go ahead. But thank you for watching. This has been my thumbnails tutorial video. If you guys could give me 45 likes for this sick tutorial on 2 thumbnails, that'd be great. But thank you guys for watching and enjoy the video. Peace.